All right, there we are. We are live. Welcome, everybody, to episode 104 of the Drag Drive Repeat Show presented by Summit Racing. This episode, we've got a special guest co host. We've got Uncle Stoney here while Mike is hanging out in Florida. We've got the Appalachian Hillclimb Series. Cleetus sells his DegaBega plus the other RVs at Talladega. Matt Walter says 10 cars must be the perfect class, and a bunch more Drag and Drive news and entertainment. So we're going to go ahead and kick this thing off with the intro video, and then we'll get started. All right, this is going to be fun tonight. What do you think?
Oh yeah, it's always fun.
Yeah. So, for those that don't know who I am Eric White, your typical co host. But Mike is in Orlando, Florida for a cheer competition with his family. So, good luck to them girls in their cheer competition. And hopefully, Mike's having fun being a cheer dad there. So, for me, typically drag drive repeat stuff. You guys know I do intro videos, I do artwork for drag drive repeat, as well as other drag and drive events. And then when I'm not doing that, I've got my channels 815 LSX Swaps and Motorsports Paparazzi, which just had its first 1 million view video, which was super cool. So that video is now up to 1.2 million. So it is still climbing. And then co-host tonight, we've got Uncle Stoney, obviously Jonathan Stone Cipher here. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
I'm John Stone Cipher. I'm filling in for Eric while he's filling in for Mike, and I'm owner of U.S. Motorworks LLC and longtime drag drive repeat and longtime drag drive racer. So
Awesome. We're going to have fun tonight for sure. But first thing, we got to thank all of our race car friends. So everybody tuning in tonight, watching, appreciate you guys. Couldn't do this without you guys. And we can't do it without our sponsors, of course, Summit Racing, Deechworks, Molly Motorsports, Driven Racing Oil, Howard's Cams, J-Wire Solutions, WAF Racing, Performabuilt Transmission, Car Change 3D, Power Tube, Sweet Patina, and Racing Junk. And Summit, you guys know Summit is our main sponsor of Drag Drive Repeat. Summit Racing's speed legacy began in 1968 as a one-man startup and is now the world's speed shop with 4 facilities and 200 plus catalog editions. Fueling your passion, they save you money, deliver fast, and offer top-notch customer service for more than 1,500 brands. Make sure to download the Summit Racing mobile app for easy access to speed parts. Find them on Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram. Also, you can turn into the All Cylinders podcast for more automotive discussions, just like we do here. From humble origins to the social media lane, Summit Racing stands by your need for speed. You guys can find everything on summitracing.com. So, big shout out to Jim Greenleaf. He raced in the SCCA, or the Sports Car Club of America, Appalachian Hillclimb Series presented by Summit Racing over the weekend in this Porsche 924. So it looks like that would be a ton of fun, doesn't it?
it looks like a blast to me. I was looking over this before the show, and it looks a lot like the like the Pikes Peak thing, and I've always had interest in the Pikes Peak because those guys are crazy.
Yeah,
I think this would be a lot of fun.
yeah. We'll have to talk to Jim and at some point and let him kind
Absolutely.
of tell us that story because I bet you're right. I bet you this is a ton of fun.
Yeah,
And what about that paint job on that Porsche? What do you think
it's
of
pretty
that?
wild.
That gives me like 90s Hot Wheel vibes right there.
I'm just glad to see somebody's using a Porsche 944. It's the just, you know, I think it's great. They got
Yeah.
or 924, sorry. Um, I think it's great because a lot of times those cars, you've seen some swaps and stuff, but they were overlooked. But
Oh
I
yeah.
think it's pretty cool.
Yeah, for sure. Looks like there was a bunch of other cool cars there too, but Jim posted on Facebook and said another fantastic weekend racing up the mountain. Managed to get quicker each lap. Saturday was still wet and slippery, but Sunday was beautiful. Thanks to everyone involved to make this happen. The competitors, staff, volunteers, and community make this a special event. So,
Yeah,
again, sounds super cool. Would love to have him on and talk
abs-
about hill climb because I think that
ab-
would be fun.
absolutely. And Steven asked how he got in there. I see the picture of him there. He's a big dude.
Yeah, yeah, that picture on the left there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I bet you his waistline is at the roof of that car.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that picture on the right there, it does look like he's a little crouched in there.
Yeah.
That is awesome. Very cool. Well, while you're on Summit Racing, obviously you guys can pick up your drag drive repeat merch. We've got shirts, we've got hoodies, the big brim hats, all that stuff you can pick up there while you're buying your car parts. And they have a new promo code out, which is Build It. So there's $25 off of 250 or $50 off of 500. That started on April 28th, so 2 days ago, and runs through May 4th at midnight. So if you guys are on there buying car parts or drag drive repeat merch, use that code Build It, BUILDIT. All right, so then some drag drive repeat updates here. We did submit our booth for PRI. So we had to get that in. I think it was by last Friday, if I remember correctly. We're going to double the booth size. So we're going to have a dedicated podcast area, something we've talked about for the last couple of years. Rather than us always being away from the booth, we can set up that, excuse me, podcast area within the booth and have everybody come to us. That way we're not out and about as much. We're more located at the booth. So we've requested a 10 by 20 for PRI 2025.
I'm just trying to figure out how you're going to fit the broadcast booth, Stanley, and then if we get Michael into a motorhome, how we're going to fit all that into a 10 by 20.
I think the motorhome might have to go out in the hallway. We might have to
Okay,
submit
okay.
for one of those.
Every time I drive by, I think of that now. He messaged, on our group chat through the week, and he wants one bad. And like I
Yeah.
seen like 10 of them today, and I'm thinking, oh, there's Micah Motorhome.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we've been getting messages for sure. And over the weekend, I think it was on Saturday, I picked up another LS engine that was local here for $100. I couldn't pass it up. I have no use for it, but I told them if we find an RV, I'll donate that that
Okay,
motor for sure.
awesome.
So one more thing with PRI, big shout out to WAF Racing for signing up to help with the increased size of the booth. So he is going to have displays for his products, and then we should know a booth number here coming up in the next few weeks. So once we
Awesome.
get that, we will be sure to share that out, and then we'll begin the process of getting a date and room number for our third annual Drag and Drive Awards presented by Summit Racing. Crazy to think that this will be the third year of us doing that.
I know. I'll have to make this one. I was real close to going with you guys last week, and Michael texted me and he goes, "When are you heading up here?" And I'm like, "I was going to ride with you," and he goes, "Well, we've already left." So I was like,
It's so much fun.
"Oh yeah,
The weekend
yep,
goes by so quick. Like we're so
yeah."
busy, and then next thing you know, you're driving home, and you're like, "Man, what did I do all weekend?"
What's wild is with a lot of events, the build up, you're just like, you get to the point of your antsy, and then once things start happening, everything goes by so quick.
Oh yeah. And it's December, so haven't
Yeah.
hung out with race car friends for a little bit now, so it's good to kind of get back into that, see everybody again, and hang out for sure.
Steven said we'll have to stack all that in the booth. I guess we'll have to take my forklift along too.
I mean, there is I forget who it is. Um, One of the street outlaw guys always has a lift in there, and he's got one
Okay,
car on the lift and one underneath it.
there we go.
So maybe that's what we got to do. We got to have a
We'll
big
we'll get
enough for a four-post lift.
we'll try to get one of the mobile lift guys to donate a mobile lift for the weekend, and then we'll just stack it all in there.
Man, now you're talking. I don't know if Mike's got you on the planning committee for this, but you might have to join that.
All right.
So circuit updates, a little bit on that. Obviously, we've been hammering away trying to get the circuit ironed out. We're in the final stages of the Friday night block party, and we're hoping to make the final announcements on our next Saturday show, if as long as Mike's able to do that. Obviously, being at his cheerleading thing with his daughter, so competition. So as long as we can still get a show on Saturday, hopefully we'll have everything ironed out to announce that.
Yeah,
So that's going to be
absolutely.
exciting.
Yeah, I'm just glad that Mike has stuck with all this. I know there's been, it just seems like one thing after another trying to get this event off this year, and I'm just thankful that Mike is dedicated enough, because he could just throw up his hands and walked away, and that's not what he's done. He's went above and beyond to try to make this event take off and
Yeah.
provide the best experience for everybody.
Yeah, there's been days where I guarantee you that he's wanted to throw in the towel, but
Oh,
yeah, he stuck through it, and we've thought through every different scenario that we could think of to make this work, and I think we're on the right track as long as Mother Nature cooperates this time. But one of the good things we were talking about is, God forbid something happened, we still have time to reschedule, which
that's right.
we
Yeah.
don't want that to happen. But if
No,
we pushed it out to later in the year, then that's your last chance. So
this will be, if it gets pushed again, it'll be like, this is the year that everybody's going to remember. It was Mega Week year, and that year that Mike had to reschedule his event
right, multiple times.
multiple times.
Yeah. Let's just hope we will be able to get it off this time, and
Oh, I hope so.
the planning, everything that we've been talking about, as long as everything comes together, it's going to be a good time, just like always.
Absolutely.
And John Ketch and Josh Reach are putting together a 32 car shootout at Mocan for Friday night, which is going to be pretty cool. It's only open to the circuit racers, and they are finalizing all the details, and they'll be posting about that soon. So if that's something that people are interested in, be on the lookout for that as well. So should be in the
I'm
next week. We're going to have some big news between the block party and the 32 car shootout.
I'm probably nowhere near being in the top 32 of that deal, but I like to race, so I'll probably have to get in on that 32 if I can get in somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they kind of decide, if there's more than 32 people interested,
Yeah.
if they just take the top 32, but I'm excited to hear what their plans are for it.
Well, I like the street car / race car, so if I can get in on that, I'm in. So,
Yeah, for sure. All right, so we'll jump in here with the Driven Racing Oil event updates. Driven Racing Oil is the performance engine oil that can do it all. GP1 is the ultimate oil for any race or performance application, whether launching hard at the drag strip, enduring the extreme heat of off-road and circle track, or pushing limits in top field drag boats and demo derbies. Winning racers choose GP1. Compatible with engines from classic hot rods to cutting-edge race machines, GP1's unique surface cling and high zinc formulation ensures superior wear protection, particularly for flat tappet camshafts, while solving issues like cylinder washout with methanol and ethanol fuels. Crafted from the legendary Bradford, Pennsylvania base oil, then enhanced with state-of-the-art additive packages, GP1 offers the best in protection and performance. So you guys know, drivenracingoil.com is where you can go to pick up your oil, any merchandise, anything like that, or Driven Racing Oil on Facebook and Instagram. All right, so some event news. We are 3 weeks away from Back to the Streets. So this one is May 21st through 25th. Um, 3 different tracks. They are going to Brown County. They're going to be heads up, no prep, drag and drive. So this isn't one that I've been to, but definitely one that I'd like to go to. I think the no prep drag and drive thing would be super cool.
Yep, I do too. That's I just the thing about it is I think that just anything we can do that is a little bit different and attracts more guys to drag and drive, because the more we can do drag and drive, the better off, and the more people we can get into it. And it doesn't matter that there's so many events, because each one of them's unique in their own way. And
Yeah,
like this I just like that it's a, I'm not a no prep racer, but I enjoy watching, and
right.
I really enjoy heads up stuff. So
Yeah, and there are a lot of no prep racers. So if we
oh
could
yeah,
even
absolutely. Yeah,
get a fraction of them to come over and do some drag and drive, that'd be a huge win.
absolutely.
So definitely looking forward to some content and seeing how this event turns out. Looks
Yeah.
like I've been doing some artwork. So I've been doing the artwork for Back to the Street. So I've been seeing all the racers that are going to be involved in this event, and there's quite a bit. They made a big jump from last year to this year, so should be
Awesome.
even better.
Good. Good.
I can see Mike is in here
Yep.
watching. You're supposed to be cheer dad going on right now. We got this, bud. So after Back to the Streets, we'll be Sick on the Green. So Sick on the Green is May 29th through 31st at Beach Bend Raceway. So obviously we've talked about their last event, which was Sick on the Rock, I believe, was their one that they just had. So this becomes the next one. Excited to see how that turns out. I know they talked a little bit about doing a little gangsters class, so I'm excited to see how that goes.
Yeah.
So
They do such a good job of trying to include everybody and everything. I you know they really go out of their way to make something for you to do if you go to one of their races.
oh, absolutely. So Sick on the Green is the next event. Again, I think that's in Bowling Green, Kentucky. Is that where that one is? Or no, sorry, Beach Bend Raceway.
Beach Bend. Yeah.
Yep. And then after that is Drop the Hammer, Michigan. So that one is May 30th through June 1st. And also at the same time is Olympic Streetcar Shootout, which is also May 30th through June 1st. So a couple of
Where's
events.
the Olympic streetcar shootout? Where's it located? Do you know?
Oh man, I don't offhand.
Okay. I don't see it in my notes here. That's what I was looking to see.
Yeah, I can't
It
remember
I,
where that one is.
Coming into this end of May, into June, into all the way through June, it's going to be busy for Drag and Drive. You guys are going to have your hands full keeping the news up to date.
Yeah, yeah. The
There's going,
June definitely gets wild. May's not as bad, but definitely still going to be busy.
I see posted there in the comments. It's Bremerton, Washington. So
Okay,
okay,
that's right.
good something out on the West Coast there. That's great.
Yep.
Yep.
So
I wish
that,
there's. I'd like to see some more stuff out there. With the California and Washington and all the tracks out that into the country. So
yeah, and there's tons of car people out that way.
oh,
So
absolutely.
hopefully it wouldn't be too bad to get something put together. Dan here saying doubling up at Back to the Streets and Drop the Hammer in the Jimmy. So boy, he's going to
Awesome,
be
man.
busy too.
Yeah.
Because Back to the Streets is May 21st through 25th, and then Drop the Hammer is May 30th through June 1st. So you've got 5 days between events there. So let's
Yeah,
hope you keep it together, because that
absolutely.
would not be fun to have to try to fix something in those 5 days.
Right.
So good luck, Dan. Be
Yeah, absolutely.
curious to hear after you're done how it was doing back-to-back events like that.
We might have to have Dan on just to have him give us
Yeah.
some stories and some updates and just how his experience was. So
Yeah, absolutely. And then rounding out the end of May, beginning of June is obviously Rocky Mountain Race Week Mega Week, May 31st through June 7th, starting at Tulsa Raceway Park. So this is going to be huge. We've talked a
yeah,
bunch about
absolutely.
it, but Mega Week, there's nothing has been done to this level before.
I just can't imagine, I've helped Mike over the years with his just organizing stuff and helped him with rules and stuff, and we talk quite a bit about stuff. I just can't imagine what it's going to take to get 600 cars teched, registered down the track. Just man, he's really like, and okay, so this year goes great. Is he going to do it again, or just a one time? I mean, because this will be the biggest drag and drive ever, 600 cars.
Right.
And
And
I know Matt. If more than 600 show up, if they show up and they're on the grounds, I'm not speaking for him. I'm just saying, chances are, if you show up and you're on the grounds, you'll probably be racing.
Right.
So,
yeah, I think it's going to be wild.
Yeah.
As a spectator, it's even cooler because you can see racing all day, and you're going to see different cars. So it's not like you're going to be there all day seeing the same cars. You're going to see two different groups of cars come through there. So it's a good time to be a spectator for this as well.
Aaron says on here, hopefully not for another 10 years. Oh, come on, Aaron. I've been trying to figure out, like, there's several of the guys we know, like Joel Greer and I think Nico Cristofari and several other guys. They're double entered. They're going to do both of them.
Yeah, and, which to me is wild.
And I sat down and talked with Joe, and Joe's just like, he goes, "This is the first one," and he goes, "I want to be part of making history. I want to do." He goes, "I want to do and finish both, and then hopefully place." And his chances are pretty good. He's placed the last couple of years, so.
I think Jason Hurley's another one that's double
Yeah.
entered.
Oh, yeah. Well. As Jason doubled. Okay.
Yeah.
When we had our circuit meeting, I ate dinner with them, but we didn't talk about that at that point.
So do you see somebody like Jason being able to win both of the events?
If Jason finishes the week and there's any way possible, if he has a car that still runs, he'll be in the contention to win.
Yeah.
So, and I mean, just think of you do that and you win both classes on the inaugural first one. I mean, but who else is coming? I mean, he may be the only unlimited car that's double entered. Who knows?
Yeah.
So, but if you double entered and won both of them, hey,
you're a bad man.
You're a bad man. And what's funny is when we were talking about the circuit rescheduling, and we were going to have to do a 200-mile drive in one day, 270 some miles, and I was like, gosh, we done over 400 in Rocky Mountain, so it's whatever. I was just like, let's race, but we took a vote and we got what we got, and I'm happy that we have an event to go to, so it's great.
Yeah, a little different being 7 days versus 3 days, though, for sure.
Oh yeah, 7 days, yeah.
Yeah, because you get a drive day within Rocky Mountain Race Week, so.
Yeah, but still 400 miles, even in a drive day, that's a trip.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure, especially in a race car. I mean,
oh yeah,
400 miles in a comfy car is still a lot, but
we did that drive from Bandamere to Kearney in Boo's car, and I drove and he co-piloted his car, but he navigated because he's a lot better navigator than I am. I'm really good at following directions, not so good at reading them. So, and I'm telling you, it's a drive. It's and then we turned around and did that again. I did that as Greg's co-pilot, and we turned around and did that drive again. And it's better in Greg's car, but it's still a trip.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. Well, I'm excited for Mega Week. I'm excited to hear the stories that come out of Mega Week afterwards. We're gonna have a ton to talk about once that event's over, for sure.
I've been leading up to this. I got 2 cars here. I'm prepping one for myself and one for Frankie and Emmy Shepard. So hopefully I'll have their car ready to start testing, and hopefully I'll have mine ready in the next week or two. So
exciting.
Yes.
Which vehicle are you taking? Or is it a secret still?
It's not really a secret. I bought another car last week. I bought a '67 Chevy too, and
nice.
it's a car that my dad had wanted before he passed, and the owner got a hold of me, and we was able to make a deal. And I'm sticking the drivetrain that I had for the black car in that car, so we can make that. It's more of a street car. It's got heater and wipers, and it's it's probably not going to be much slower, but it's a more comfortable drive. So
That'll be awesome.
yeah, it's actually just right here behind me. Frankie's car, Frankie and Emmy's car's here beside me, and my car's behind me. We just can't see it because the lights are off.
Nice. That's exciting.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that is it for the Driven Racing Oil event update. So appreciate Driven Racing Oil for being on board for 2025. And that leads us into J-Wire Solutions. Mike here saying going to be a great car, and we'll have to do a full video series on it.
Oh yeah, we've actually he's already come over and shot some video the day that I went and picked the car up, and the previous owner come down and we pulled his drivetrain out of it, and we just went over some history between me and him because we actually raced together 10 years ago when all the drag drive stuff. When I got involved, I was actually running a series, and we raced the series together. So
Oh, very cool.
yeah, so I've known this car since he first built this car. We run a shootout, stock block shootout series starting in 2015, and he was one of the racers I raced with back then. And this car he built to do that series with, and then we got to go know each other through the racing and stuff. And then at that time, my dad was still with us and traveling with us, and man, he actually tried to buy the car a couple times, and they just never could reach a number agreement. So when it came about, he decided he was ready to build another car. So he called me, and we made a deal. So
That's so awesome.
yeah.
All right, so jumping into the J-Wire Solutions segment here, expert car and marine wiring solutions that you can trust. J-Wire Solutions can wire and plumb your hot rod, race car, or drag and drive car. Plus, they offer products that make your driving experience better, like the blinker module that is a must for all drag and drive cars. This module will allow your rear turn signals to continue to function while the brake pedal is applied, just like stock. J-Wire's got a bunch of cool products over there. I've got a couple of his products that are going on my car as well. So definitely check out J-Wire Solutions for any of your wiring stuff. So this is going to be a fun conversation here. Matt Walter posted this on Facebook about 10.0 cars. He said 10.0 must be the perfect class. Trap mid 130s, which is pretty fast. Minimal safety gear required and little or no between round maintenance. What is wrong with me? So that poses the question, is a 10-second street car the best for drag and drive?
You know, everybody has their opinion. I've had several 10-second street cars on drag and drive stuff. I enjoy that realm because you don't get into all the heavy safety equipment stuff, but you still have. I know that there's lots of fast, what we call street cars out there, but a 10-second car that you get in and drive regularly on the street, besides doing drag and drive, is a fast car.
Yeah.
That's, despite what, there's guys, like Jason Hurley, to him, he's been almost into the sixes and probably will be this year. To him, that's probably not that fast, but he's also got a street car that he races at the circuit because he enjoys doing that.
Right.
So
yeah, and he's said before he has just as much fun in the slow car as he does, in his quick car. So
yeah, I just think that, especially anybody that's a car enthusiast, if they want to, they can a 10-second car is in the reach of most people building cars. I mean, there's guys, if they had a little bit of help, that they build a car and they can't quite get there, but they usually got the parts. They just need some help in the department of traction or tuning or stuff like that, and that's reach out to the guys that, that have been there to kind of help them along. So
right. And you probably remember back in the day, 10-second street car was a fast car.
Oh, 10-second street car. Like I was I was in my teens in the late '80s, early '90s, and if you had a real 10-second car back then, it was usually a race car. You know, it wasn't much street car to it. Now there were some, but not in our area. You know, the bigger cities where street racing was more prevalent. You know, there was a whole lot
Yeah.
more of that. But
Yeah. For sure. So some of the comments on Matt's post here, Kenny Hanna, it's probably the most competitive class as well, which we've definitely talked about before. You start getting into those index classes as those have become more popular in drag and drive. They have definitely become the competitive classes for sure.
yeah,
Robert Fox here. In my experience, the maintenance running 850s or faster is a full time job. It feels like sometimes it almost is like slowing down and becomes more enjoyable, as weird as that sounds, which is exactly what we were just talking about with Hurley bringing,
yeah.
some of his other cars out to like the circuit.
And I was reading here, Donnie Carr also commented he had a perfect 10-0 car with zero maintenance and all the comforts, and then he just had to chase after an 8, and
Yeah, and that's
and
usually what happens.
and Donnie's doing 8 the hardest way possible too. He's doing it in A. So
Yeah. Yep. So that's usually what happens. You start out in a 10-0, then you want to go quicker. But there's definitely people that I believe would tell you that if you stick there, you'll have the most fun.
yeah, yep.
All right, Alex Skurzapek. Sorry for butchering people's names. I'm horrible with this part. Alex said, we ran a mid 10-second bracket car for literally a decade and never did anything besides oil change, tires a couple times, plugs once or twice, and check the valve lash once a year. But at some point, it's nothing more than driving down the highway. Of course, driving the stripe can be fun, but it just got old. It's a drag and drive car now.
Yep.
So
Yeah,
again, just that maintenance free is kind of the deal there.
absolutely. And you take a good prepped turbo or blower or even nitrous car, and running tens is a 10-0 is fairly easily came by. So
Yeah. Yep. Azim Sheik here saying I love the 10-0 class.
yep,
Lou Herfurth said it is, in my honest opinion, it's fast enough that it's fun, but not crazy expensive or ridiculous maintenance. It's a heads up start and great side by side racing. It's also very competitive. I always figured 850 would be the progression for me, but I'm over that now. I don't want or need the extra gear, work, and maintenance.
yep. And then Random Phrase there said for a long time everybody chased the lower ET, but there's a huge fun factor in the 10-second cars, especially the tight competition. And I've been with several of the guys that ran 10-0. Jason Cunningham run 10-0 several times with his turbo truck, and it had air conditioning and power seats, power windows. The rest of us were melting down, and he's sitting over there in the air conditioner. And then he podiumed in 2019, his first time out, which kind of spoiled him. And then the year before that, in 18, Timmy Meehan actually he won 10-0 index in his little Trans Am that we took, and it was the same deal. We had a problem with the car had not really been driven on long drives, and we had to do the intercooler delete move to get proper airflow across the radiator. But that's just a thing. Like after you figure out the little things you need to do to make them work, you take a drag car, and the first time you take and do a drag and drive, you're thinking, oh yeah, this is a street car. You've drove it 25 miles, and you do 200. But after the first time or two, you get those little things figured out, and you can have a good solid 10-0 car, you know.
Yeah. And the other thing too is start thinking of the newer cars, the newer
Oh yeah,
Mustangs, the
yeah,
Challengers, stuff like that. I mean, with minimal modifications, those can be close to 10-second cars and still retain all your creature comforts.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
So, one of the names that comes to mind here is Mike Ramirez.
Yes.
Her Hot Rod Drag Week 2023 finished with a 10.033 average in Street Machine Eliminator. So,
Yeah.
again, when we talk about being competitive, 10.0XX, and that's what's going to win that class.
I'm not a bracket racer, but I love index racing. When everybody has to run the same number, I love it. Especially going to a heads up index race. I I totally enjoy that. Whether it doesn't matter what it is, if it's 11, 10, 950, just a good close index race where everybody's close makes for a lot of fun.
Yeah. And Dan here saying, I love my 10-second, 4,600-pound Jimmy with AC and CarPlay. All right. Well, there's some good conversations on the 10.0 stuff for sure.
Yeah.
I know Mike's telling me all the time that when I get the Mustang done, that's what I need to focus on. Start out at the 10s and then,
Yep.
chase whatever from there. But so we'll see. There'll definitely be more discussion around the 10.0 stuff for sure.
Absolutely.
So again, big shout out to J-Wire Solutions for that segment. We're going to jump in here to the Molly Motorsports segment now. And I see our guests from the High Octane Dads podcast are backstage. So I will hit this ad read. And if you guys are ready, I will bring you on after that. So racers and high performance enthusiasts ready to start your next engine build? If so, there is no better time than now to check out the Molly Motorsports all-in-one Power Pack piston kits. With over 1,200 applications, these kits come complete with pistons, rings, wrist pins, and clips, all designed to work together. Molly Motorsports Power Pack piston kits take out all of the guesswork. No more trying to determine if a piston will need this ring to work with a certain cylinder size. Molly has done all of the engineering so that you can get to the part that matters, which is building a power plant that leads to victory lane. So visit mollymotorsports.com for more details. And for our podcast listeners, Molly is spelled Mahle. All right, Stoney, are you ready to bring on these guys from the High Octane Dads podcast?
Absolutely. Let's get them on here.
All right. First up, we've got Chris and James. How are you guys doing?
Hi, guys.
All right.
Doing great.
Awesome. Well, I will let you guys introduce yourselves, tell us who you are, and then we'll talk a little bit about the podcast. So we'll go ahead and start directly under me. We'll start with James, and then we'll go to Chris.
All right. Awesome. My name's James. I'm a IT guy by day and a weekend warrior car guy after hours, photographer, videographer, and a little bit of everything else. I like to say I'm the nerdiest hot rodder on the internet. I'm being an IT guy and a gamer myself as well. So Chris and I linked up, and we started the High Octane Dads podcast last year after hanging out at LS Fest together in person for the first time. But we've known each other for more than a decade through Mullet Militia and Matt Walter, who you guys were just talking about. We all kind of met through that, and we've connected there. So we decided to kick this thing off.
Awesome. All right, Chris?
Yeah, so I'm Chris, father of four, work full-time, multiple project cars, multiple just projects in general, trying to keep up with everything. Like tonight we had softball, so I just got home from that. No, like I said, James and I, we linked up there a while ago and then decided we want to do something more. So, just hop online every week or so and just talk about cars.
That's awesome. Very cool. So go ahead and tell us a little bit about the podcast. So what do you guys talk about? And then I always like to know, I think you said about a year ago you started doing this, but what kind of made you guys want to start a podcast?
So we found through talking, we had an awful lot in common. The first of which being that we both started with 1986 Trans Ams. We're the exact same age. We both had kids, right? And we were kind of kicking ideas around. So Chris is a couple states away, and so the only time we really chatted was over Messenger or whatever. So we were like, we talk an awful lot, and we talk about cars, but we also talk about stuff just with dads, and kind of sometimes the mental strain that comes along with that, and trying to balance having hobbies and being a dad and staying busy. And we were like, there's got to be some people out there that identify with that. And I know for me personally, like it's all about building community and having a group of people that all like to chat and hang out and share some common interests. And so we were like, hey, let's just go ahead and do it. And we kicked it off literally right after we got back from LS Fest.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
that's awesome. Definitely sounds kind of like how Mike and I got started with this podcast. Very, very similar to that.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, I mean, we both have. We're not like diehard racers, but I'm not a lawn chair Nats type of guy. I like to run around and beat on my cars, but I just don't. I like to tinker with them. I like to talk cars. I like to do a lot of burnouts. I like to break them. I don't like to break them, but it happens. As that happens. But I've always found that just mingling with other car guys is usually just a great time. Just getting to talk with people, bouncing ideas around. We're a little bit past that age where we would maybe bash all the different cars we didn't like. Now there's some things, electric cars that we all bash, but I mean,
Squatted trucks.
Yeah, that too. But no, I mean, it's usually a good group of people everywhere. I've met tons of great people through the car communities, and for me, like I said, I'm more of like a cruiser, but my cars see the rev limiter every day. Let's just put it that. So
that's the way they were meant to be, right?
Oh, absolutely.
So kind of what you were talking about there with just meeting people like-minded. I actually just had this conversation with somebody yesterday, and one of the greatest things about internet, social media is, the four of us right now, if we all lived in the same town, we would be the ones that would be hanging out in somebody's garage, drinking beer, working on cars. But now with this, we can do it here, and we can all be states away. So definitely met tons and tons of car people from all over the world, just through social media and doing the YouTube and podcasts.
Yeah.
So definitely cool there. So how many episodes do you guys have out of the podcast?
We just released episode 32 on Saturday, so we're kind of doing it bi-weekly right now. Just a busy dad life. Both of us just started new jobs, but yeah, we've got one in the tank, and we're still recording just to kind of stay a little bit ahead, which is something we were not really able to do last year. So it's exciting to start to get there at least. Which I love what you guys are doing with doing it live, and we've talked about doing some of that as well. But yeah, we just released 32.
That's awesome.
That was. You answered my next question. I was going to ask if you guys do it live. I joined in on another one, Gearhead Perspective, and I just talked to them guys and talked to them. You guys got to do it live because the comments and the everything, it'll take it to the next level.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and that's we've got a lot of guys we go to LS Fest with and everything, and all over the country that we all kind of meet there, and it's been. It's been great. Like we've had a few of them on, but it would definitely be cool if they could come hang out, and chat and things like that. And like I said, it's all about community for me. So,
yep. And it's just listening to you guys. I've not seen your podcast before, but I'm going to go back and watch it now, just because being a dad and now a grandpa myself and car enthusiast, and like you said, you're not really a racer, but I lean a little more towards racing, but that doesn't mean that we're not all still on common ground as far as what we enjoy. And then the things about what we all have in common is being a parent and the day-to-day stuff. So I got to fly here.
Yeah. Like I just picked up my daughter a super slick 2002 Monte Carlo SS Pace Car Edition.
Oh, it's awesome.
And she is in love with that car already, which is great. So that's pretty cool. But she's like, I want to drive your Caprice to school. Not happening, kid.
Yeah. I definitely see benefits between doing lives and doing, pre-recorded audio stuff only. Obviously, the live stuff, like Stoney said, you get comments, so you can kind of keep working that into the show. But prior to doing Drag Drive Repeat show here, I was doing one of my own, and I liked doing that too because you also don't have any distractions at the same time. It's editing. I think you can get a little better production out of, but I think it's a good mix of having a little bit of both. So if you guys ever need help getting kicked off with doing some kind of live streams, Mike and I would for sure give you guys a hand with that.
Heck yeah.
I'm pretty good about getting on the internet and talking shit. So, I mean, if you go back to one of our earlier episodes, we had an episode where we talked about toilet paper math, and we've had great feedback from that. I've had so many people come up and talk to me like, man, when you talked about using the wet wipes.
Yeah.
We're often known for toilet related things. I don't know how that has happened, but you know.
That's a dad thing.
Oh
sure.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So does the toilet paper go over or under?
Over.
Oh yeah, over.
All right.
Absolutely.
All right,
So-
we're all on the same page then.
There's a
Yes.
patent for that if you look on the internet.
So
Really?
we have a pretty big tissue manufacturer here in our town, and they came and spoke to our leadership within the city, like this class I did through the chamber, and he came in and he was like, just to put this to bed, we make the stuff, it goes over the top. It's like, all right, good to go.
That's awesome. So you did mention there, you guys are in different spots. Where are you guys from?
So I'm in central Georgia. I'm about an hour and a half south of Atlanta.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm on the western side of Virginia, probably about half hour, 45 minutes from West Virginia line.
Okay. Very cool. Very cool. I'm in northern Illinois, and
Okay.
Mike, who's in Florida right now doing his cheer competition, he's from northwest Arkansas. And how far is he from you, Stoney?
He is about probably 40 miles from me. I'm in northeast Oklahoma.
Okay.
Okay.
So yeah,
I was
definitely kind
actually-
of the same thing. We're far apart.
Yeah, I was actually in Chicago 3 times in the last 4 months. So,
Oh, really?
Yeah. I'm sure I'll
Nice.
be back up there at some point, but I mean, I was there in December, February, and March, so not great times.
Yeah, I was gonna say you weren't there during any of the good weather for sure.
No. We did. We were there for St. Patrick's Day, so we walked down and saw where they dyed the river green. Saw the Navy, went to the Navy Pier. You know, that was a good time. But,
Oh yeah. There's tons of cool stuff there for sure.
yeah. Other than we had to ride the train back after midnight to O'Hare, so that was a little sketchy.
I'm sure.
I do not recommend.
Yeah.
So do you guys see it in your future to do a drag and drive?
I do. I've wanted to do one for years. Up until recently, though, all I've had was my Trans Am, which is fine, but I can't focus on one thing long enough, and I really need to put a strong rear in that car.
Yeah.
It's got just a basic cam bolt-on 5.3 T56, but it still has a 7.5-inch 10 bolt.
Yeah.
And I don't know how it's lived because I do 5 and 6 grain clutch dumps all the time.
Yeah.
But I've had that car 21 years, and I'd like to do one with it, but my Caprice is a lot nicer ride to do a drag and drive in. I've taken it to Kentucky for LS Fest 3 or 4 years in a row now.
Yeah.
It's like 11-hour drive for me. I'll go out there and then I'll race it and then drive it home.
Nice.
So
you're already almost broke into the concept of drag and drive.
oh
Drive
yeah,
it
well
out.
so last year I think it
You did
was
grand
like
champion last year. So
yeah, grand champion.
Awesome.
So it's like I put like 1,200 miles on the car there in like 4 days.
Yeah.
I think I got like 18 autocross passes.
Oh,
and
wow.
4 drag race passes. So
yeah.
And I tell you what, the car held up great until this past fall when I never did a trunnion upgrade when I did the cam. And it randomly, I broke a rocker arm, and which it lasted about 12,000 miles, and then it didn't, and I had to pull the head off because it damaged a valve. And but I mean, it was about a $500 fix, but
Yeah. So I'm assuming that is this is your Caprice then?
yeah. Oh
Give
yeah.
us a little details about this. Kind of what's the setup on it? Obviously, you said you do a little autocross and stuff, but
Yeah. So the car largely is suspension wise is stock. It's got 2014 SS sedan stock springs on it. It's got so those had an L77. It's an all aluminum 6.0 LS3 heads, LS3 intake. I did the hollow LS3 intake valves in it. It's got the BTR red hot camshaft and VCM over the radiator air intake, pretty standard. ZL1 torque converter. I plan to put a blower on it eventually. It's got a Camaro 327 diff in it. Speed Engineering long tube headers, SS sedan mufflers. I mean, I drive it every day. I beat the shit out of it every day. I've had it like 4 years, and I think I go through a set or two of tires a year. So I've got
a fun car.
Yeah, I got 3 sets of wheels that I rotate on it. So
how quick is that car at the drag strip?
So it really needs a converter. In the heat at LS Fest, I think the best it ran was like a 1260 at like 112 or 113.
Yeah.
But it's just got, it needs a better converter.
Yep.
But I mean, I daily it, and really the tuner that I used was great on getting the drivability in, and it drives, I'd say, about 90% like stock. Like a 3600 converter would be perfect.
Yep.
But I really didn't, when I was putting it together at the time, I was like, I really don't want to spend like $1,500 on a torque converter right now.
Right.
So, I mean, like I said, I daily the car. I drive it all over the place. Rain, anything. But then my other daily, I mean, it's just a 3/4 ton Suburban, but it's got long tube headers and a full exhaust, and I can't leave anything alone.
All right, whose is this one?
That's mine too.
What's the details on this one?
So that was my first car. I've had it 21 years as of last month, and it started out as a carbureted 305 700 R4 273 open car. It's got a just baby cam LM753 T56, 10 bolt in it. I mean, it's been together largely unchanged since like 09, 2010, just like it sits. I did the swap. Like I said, I started in 2009, got it running in like 2010, had a turbo 350 in it then. But I wanted to drive it, and I have driven it and I haven't. I've done a lot over the years, having more kids, work and all that. But I dropped the battery in this weekend, and I think I've driven it last weekend more than I had in the last 4 or 5 years. So I intend to try to keep that up. I had my kids go out there and clean it out for me, and I'm like, I'll have to send you a picture. It was full of parts and boxes, but this setup's been great. I mean, I think it's a GM hot cam. I bought it used. I bought the cam and spring kit used off LS1 Tech, years ago.
Yeah.
And it made, with a really fat tune-up, it made like 333, 340 to the tire. It ran with manifolds. I ran a 12.8 at 114. But it was spinning its ass off.
Yeah, I bet.
But it's got long tube headers on it now, single 4-inch exhaust. I was going to do a turbo build on it one time, and then I abandoned it and just kind of left it as it was because I didn't really want to chop the car up.
Yeah.
So at this point, I'd love to just do an LS3 base 6-liter and put in it and go through my T56, put a 9-inch in it, and put air conditioning back in the car, and just have something that makes like 450, 500 tire that I can drive anywhere.
Yep. You can do burnouts and get ice cream.
Exactly.
So how about this one?
So that one's me. So it was my first car. It started life as a LG4 305 with a Quadrajet on it. Wouldn't get out of its own way for anything. But I didn't need to go fast because it looked really cool. And but that quickly changed. But the car sat for quite a few years until I guess it was, I don't know, 7 or 8 years ago. We finally bought a house with a garage, and my wife got me a toolbox for Christmas, and it just kind of went from there. I horse traded some guy stuff and a few other things for an LQ4, and I did pretty much just a stock LQ4 swap in it with a 4L60, and had planned on going T56 at some point, and then just kind of got into it, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna stick with the automatic, and so I still got a 4L60 on it, and yeah, it's been a fun cruiser. That picture there, I've got a set of WS6 wheels. I finally bought a set of street wheels and tires for it because it's got a Race Star drag pack setup that I've got for it. Best passes I ever made in that car was around, I don't know, I was running like 1221s. That was right after I done a Tick Performance Stage 2 Street Heat cam in it. Still had a LS6 intake on it, and then the Racing Innovation long tubes that were out there for a while that a lot of people were buying for the third gens. Exhaust has definitely got some room for improvement, and I've actually swapped it over. I've got a Fast 102 intake and the Motion Raceworks 92 millimeter throttle body on it now, and I went and made some of the worst passes I've ever made. After I put that stuff on there, it was cold and it was late, and yeah, a lot of rookie mistakes. But it's a blast to drive, and like Chris was talking about, I'm in this mode now to just get it back into a cruiser status and at least get out and enjoy the car some, and I'll probably go make a few passes at some point this summer. But as far as drag and drives go, we have that track there is Matt Walters, what I would say is probably his home track. That's Silver Dollar Motorsports Park in Reynolds, Georgia. And they do a little event where they meet somewhere 30, 40 minutes away from the track. You drive to the track, and then you race, and then you drive somewhere, and they do like the awards and things. So it's kind of just a one-day event. There's not a whole lot, at least, that I'm aware of, that's down here in the Southeast that's accessible for a weekend warrior like myself, with some kids. And, the hotel stays, I think, get a little spendy unless you're sleeping in the car, and that can get smelly. So, but I'm definitely down if Chris ever does one. I'm going to go do photo and video. That's where my heart's at. I love shooting motorsports. So
yeah, you sound a lot like me then too, because that's kind of how I am. I've got a couple projects of my own, but I do enjoy taking photos and doing that stuff as well.
Yeah, at LS Fest last year, I was there with some of the racers, Steve and these other guys, and I was able to get out with the media guys and shoot like the drifting from center track, and that was, as much as I love the drag racing, that's an adrenaline rush standing in the middle of that track and watching those guys go around you. Get some really cool shots doing that. But yeah, I'm definitely getting more involved in the photography and video side of motorsports, and trying to keep chasing that while still keeping my projects going.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know if you guys have watched much, but just recently I had posted front page of the Summit catalog was one of the photos I took at Hot Rod Drag Week, and that's got to be one of the coolest feelings you can have to see your photos being used somewhere like that. So
Yep. Yeah, I was really excited. I went to a Southeast Gassers event. I don't know if you guys have ever watched the Gassers go out and race. They're a ton of fun. And it's just a great group of racers, right? But the Southeast Gassers, they did an event close to us, and I shot it, and a local car magazine picked it up, and I've got a 2-page spread in that magazine with all the photos I took from the event. And that was my goal, was to get some pictures published. And I've done that now, so it's all right. What's next? So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm going to keep pushing.
If that doesn't motivate you to keep going, I tell you, it's like you said, it's the coolest thing once you see it.
And
Matter of fact,
go ahead.
I was gonna say that Summit catalog sitting right over there on the shelf. So I didn't know that was your photo, but now that I do, I'll make sure to hold on to that one.
Yeah, there's the cover photo inside. There's Mike Finnegan's car, that photo, and then kind of off to the side there you can see, and then the entire centerfold is all pictures that I've taken. So
that's killer, man. Yeah,
it's super cool.
As a car guy, it doesn't matter if you're the car owner or the photographer. All of it is just great. To get published in something is just like one of the greatest things. So.
Yeah, and as a car guy, we all love to see pictures of our own cars, whether it's it's on social media, whether it's in a book. Like, we always look for those photos after the event's over to see who got the best shot.
Absolutely.
So, very cool. What else we got to talk about? Is there so you guys did have Matt Walter on the show, so I did have that back here. That looked like episode 15, so that was kind of like right in the middle. So with with him being on there, and now you guys being on here, you guys are destined to do a drag and drive at some point.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he was pushing me pretty hard to come up and do one of the Back to the Streets events, and I'm like, man, Maryland's a long way away, and so yeah, I was planning to do it, and then just life gets in the way, but one day.
I'll just tell you guys from experience. I did my first one in 2014, and I spent everything I had. Like I come home, I didn't have nothing, and I thought, man, this will be the only one I ever get to do. And then now I do 3 to 4 of them a year. You just find a way to make it work.
Make it work. Yeah.
So. Yeah.
Yeah. Mike always says once you do a drag and drive, it'll change your life.
Oh yeah. I've wanted to do one for several years.
I took Mike and go ahead. Sorry.
Back before there was like a bunch of them where it was just one. I've wanted to do one.
Yeah. And I talked Mike into doing his first one. He went with me in the Rocky Mountain Race Week 2.0 in the fall of 20 when they had all the issues with the pandemic and everything, and they canceled drag week. And I just told him, dude, you gotta do this, you gotta do this, you gotta do this. And then he finally went, and just it's just the thing about it is the atmosphere. It's everybody's like family. So
yeah.
Yeah, that's what I've heard from Matt for sure. Is kind of it's a competition, but then everybody still like you still got to get to the next track, and people are starting to help each other out, and that's a really cool thing to see when you watch the videos and stuff.
I've been in contention to a podium and broke stuff on the car, and the guy that was behind me called and did everything he could to help me get what I needed to get the car fixed. That's what kind of friendship it is. It's not like it's not cutthroat like any of the stuff that we see on TV or stuff like that. It's it's family.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So like Matt, James and I have both known Matt for a long time at this point. I'd say, for me, 20 years. I mean, it was back when we were still all creeping on the forums for third gens. But in 2014, we had just started the Mullet Militia group. And so I'm one of the original admins for the Mullet Militia group.
Okay.
And, but we had an event at Capitol Raceway in Maryland. And I had towed my Trans Am up there. And when we left, I was headed home on 495 and I got hit, and it totaled my tow vehicle.
Oh man.
And yeah, so thankfully nobody got hurt. My car didn't get messed up, but we got the car and the trailer and everything off the road. And Matt actually went home, dropped off all his stuff, and then came and picked up me, my wife, my car, and the friend that was with me, and hauled me all the way back to Virginia. And then he went back to Maryland that night. And he got home at like 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning.
Yep.
And then I went back up the next day and got my Suburban that got wrecked. So yeah, I mean, he's a great guy, just meeting car guys through the internet or just in general. I mean, some of the best friends you'll ever have.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and with doing the drag and drive, the more people you meet as you're traveling to these events, you're always going to know somebody near one of the tracks you're at. So when something does happen, you've made this group of friends that now you've got people you can reach out to, or people can come help you. It's pretty awesome.
Oh, absolutely.
So I guess a couple more questions about the podcast. What are some of the struggles of starting a podcast as that you guys have come across anyways?
Consistency.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm learning, as much as, me being in IT, right? And I geek out over the gear and the editing. I love doing all of that stuff, the layouts, the stuff. When it comes time to remember to go post those shorts that you generated or something, that's when it all kind of becomes a struggle. Just to remember to post everything around your day job and everything else that's going on. We've talked about it on ours. It's like it becomes a hobby in and of itself that takes time away from my OBS that I'm working on and all the other things you've got going on. And so that's the biggest thing. I thought it was going to be getting all the gear and learning and realistically, getting and chatting and getting your content out there, that's not that difficult. But it's just remembering to be consistent and getting stuff out often enough.
And trying to keep up with all the different social media platforms and to plug yourself enough and sell yourself enough. And that's where we struggle, I believe. I know for me, there's a ton of local people that I know that listen and will come up to me constantly and ask me how it's going. You know, when's your next episode coming out, which is awesome. But I'm like, man, we have both been busy. I've been traveling. James has been traveling. We've been just working, you know. So that's what makes it hard. And that's kind of, you know, our whole thing of our podcast, just trying to be a dad and, you know, have a car hobby and manage everything else in life along the way.
Yeah, I think that those struggles though, that also gives you content to talk about too, which I think is great because it sounds like it goes right along with the theme of your podcast. So that's awesome. Was there anything else you guys want to chat about? Or I think we pretty much covered all the topics that was sent over.
Yeah, I think you know, we're definitely going to try to get Matt on again. I know Back to the Streets is coming up. I'm sure you guys have talked about that, and so we're going to try to get him to come and hang out with us and do a chat. Maybe we'll do it live like this. That'd be a fun fun experiment there.
I'd like to try to go up and, you know, hang out with him again. He's only about 3 hours from me, but I'd like to go out there and hang out with him one weekend again. It's been a while.
Yeah, well, definitely reach out to us if you guys do a live stream. We'd love to watch for sure.
Okay.
Before we let you guys go, let us know or let everybody know where they can find your content at and what they can look forward to coming up with your next episodes.
Yeah, so we've got everything on, you know, it's YouTube, Spotify. We do the Spotify video. I noticed you guys do that as well. If you go to highoctanedads.com, I've got just a link tree there that's got all our different pages and everything. And of course, we've got our Facebook page, and we've got a group there where that, you know, we kind of chat and people share their car updates and projects and things like that. And Chris posts a lot of go-karts and stuff that he might be working on or whatever he's fixated on that week.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that's, you know, Facebook's a good jumping off point, and then just highoctanedads.com will get you all the links.
All right. Well, appreciate you guys coming on. We'll definitely stay in contact and look forward to seeing some more of your episodes.
Heck
Awesome.
yeah.
All right, thank you guys.
Appreciate it, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah, it's good. It's always interesting to have a subject where the, you know, fitting car life into family life into everyday life, you know, that'd be a good podcast to watch. I'll have to check that out because that's, you know, it's a balance to have kids and cars and be married. So
yeah, I think it definitely will resonate with a lot of people because a lot of
absolutely.
us are car guys and a lot of us are dads. So
yeah,
definitely, definitely a cool concept they got going on there for sure.
Yep.
All right. Well, that wraps it up for our Molly Motorsports segment. Appreciate those guys jumping on for sure. And make sure you go check out their stuff. Go listen to their podcast. Go check out their Facebook and all their social media stuff as well. All right, we'll keep rolling. We're actually doing better than I thought. I was a little worried without Mike here that I wouldn't be able to talk for 2 hours, but we're doing pretty good. DeWorks is a leading manufacturer of high-performance fuel systems and components. The DW product line includes fuel injectors, fuel pumps, pump modules, fuel rails, regulators, filters, lines, and fittings, plus surge tanks. All of that engineered to support power levels ranging anywhere from 400 to 2,200 horsepower. Since its founding, DeWorks has been committed to delivering quality, innovation, and precision to the automotive performance industry. Every DW product is built to maximize reliability and efficiency, which is important in drag and drives, ensuring optimal fueling solutions for racers, tuners, and performance enthusiasts worldwide. With a focus on engineering excellence and industry-leading customer support, DeWorks continues to drive the future of high-performance fueling. So you guys know, 10% off of DeWorks using code DDR10. Make sure you guys go check out their products, use their discount code. That way they know they that you found them because of us, and plus you get to save yourself 10%.
And guys, check out their website. They have a really easy to use website, and they have lots of products that you wouldn't think that a fuel company would have. They have lots of stuff. I went on there, and they've got all kinds of things that you need to do a build, especially in the fuel system related area. So, and
Yeah.
like I said, their website's super easy to use. It's one of the most user friendly websites I've used. So,
Yep, absolutely. Good point.
yeah.
All right. Well, at this point, definitely want to thank everybody for tuning in again. I mean, we're only probably halfway through the show, maybe a little over, but appreciate everybody tuning in, all the comments. Again, that's why we call you guys our race car friends. Appreciate each and every one of you. And again, our sponsors. We say it all the time, but this wouldn't be possible. Travel, equipment, all that is because of our sponsors. So Summit Racing Equipment, Deechworks, Molly Motorsports, Driven Racing Oil, Howard's Cam, J-Wire Solution, WAF Racing, Performabuilt Transmissions, Car Chains 3D, Power Tube TV, Sweet Patina, and Racing Junk.
And these guys, we need to support them because they I try to use as much of the products that you guys advertise and that sponsor you guys, because that's what takes care of you guys. And as the drag and drive community, we need to take care of the people that sponsor us, because if it wasn't for them, we couldn't have the show.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
And both Mike and I use these products as well. You know,
Yep.
I've got obviously stuff from Summit. I've got Molly Pistons. We'll be having Driven Oil once I get to that point, obviously. For those that follow me on Facebook, you see the engine is out of the Mustang. So definitely working on that. Going to be running Deechworks fuel components. Already have Howard's cams, got parts from J-Wire. WAF Racing has tons of stuff primarily for carburetors, but there's definitely stuff like the spark plug holder that anybody can use. Got some stuff from Corey at Car Chain. So again, all these companies, we are using them as well. So it's not like we're just talking about them.
Absolutely.
All right. And this is our gentleman's agreement. Again, you guys know that we love talking about drag and drive. Otherwise, we wouldn't do this week in and week out, traveling to events, taking photos, grabbing stories. Mike is in here listening, while he's at his cheer competition. So obviously we love what we're doing. If you guys are enjoying the live stream, make sure you hit the like button, follow, subscribe, wherever you're watching. That's our own little gentleman's agreement. You guys showing us some love, and we're going to promise to keep delivering the content that you came here for.
Guys, just like and share to keep this going. Eric and Mike work hard to bring all this to you. So
you got it. And Power Tube TV. Rev up your engines with Power Tube TV, the ultimate destination for automotive entertainment. Stream for free on the web, Roku, mobile apps, and more. You can catch replays of this show that you're watching right now, plus exclusive content from us and other top creators, featuring classics like Pinks and Pastime. You see Pinks 2.0 is coming out, bringing shows like that, original shows back. PowerTube TV isn't just a platform, it's a community. So you can join the content creator development program and be part of something special. You can watch more at you can find more at watchpttv.com. That one gets me every time.
I was going to say, I'm glad you read that one too, because I could have really screwed that up.
So have you seen all the stuff about Pinks 2.0? I know we've been talking about it a bunch on here, but did you see the post from James Rowlett?
I did not.
So he made a post. I think I don't remember, it was earlier today or yesterday.
Okay.
He posted a picture. There's one of the vehicles. The picture was just for attention. But what he was saying is he's looking for a transmission sponsor for the PowerTube TV Pinks TV show. The setup is June 12th and filming is June 13th and 14th. So coming up here real quick.
Yeah.
He needs a 1.8 Glide with a brake or a TH400 with a brake, something that can support 1,000 horsepower. He said, I want to win. I don't want to just show up. So this is going to be super competitive.
Yeah.
And I'm excited to see it. I'm excited to see when the shows come out. Unfortunately, I won't be able to be there while it's being recorded because I think that would be super cool to go to as well. But obviously, we've talked about the month of June just being insane with the number of Dragon Drives already going on.
Yep. And I just think of how a lot of the other media stuff and the car shows they spawned from Pinks. They just, that was a show that really pushed everything to move towards Dragon Drive, or not Dragon Drive, but drag racing in general. And,
oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I just, some of it was, but it, as a car guy, I watched it because it moved everything forward and then spawned into Street Outlaws and all the other stuff that came after that. And it's really started a car movement for somebody who's an automotive enthusiast to have plenty of different platforms to watch stuff.
Yeah, no doubt. If you go back and watch some of those early episodes, you'd be surprised some of the names that you see on there that,
absolutely.
Especially if you didn't watch it back then.
Right.
If you go back and watch some of the replays now, you'd be surprised. All right. And then we've got WAF Racing. I'll go ahead and play this WAF Racing video here, and then we will keep going.
Have you ever wished you could fit your toolbox in the palm of your hand, or really needed that extra set of hands while making a jet change at the track? At WAF Racing, we specialize in designing and manufacturing top-tier automotive tools that are made strong to withstand travel, yet lightweight not to slow you down. Tested in-house and at the track by the team at WAF Racing, every part is made by racers for racers. From compact toolkits, carburetor top hats, or spark plug storage containers, our tools are precision engineered and manufactured in the USA. Made of the strongest materials, every piece strikes the perfect balance of durability and dependability. Maybe you need something custom just for you. We do that too. You need WAF Racing in the passenger seat for your next drag racing event. Head over to wafracing.com today to take your racing experience to the next level. WAF Racing. Design, build, race.
And they're another one that's got tons of cool stuff on their website. If you haven't checked that out, go over there. Especially if you're a carburetor guy, but even if not, the spark plug kits are cool. Yeah.
And I think they're more than willing, if you have something that you think of that they can make, they would probably get on making that for you also.
Oh, 100%. So first out, I want to say congratulations to Nivlek57. I seen it was in here a little bit earlier making comments, but dude, 70,000 subscribers on YouTube. That's a big deal.
Awesome.
Yeah. So if you haven't checked them out, Nivlek57 on YouTube. Or if you're going to be at Six Summer, they're there at Six Summer. They've attended several Dragon Drive events. And pretty much everything that they do has the Atlas 4200 in it. So you've seen the Camaro that they did last year. And they've done tons of vehicles. And I think it's really kind of spawned a new swap because we're seeing it more. Jeremy Ortiz is doing a 4200 in the Mustang, and we're starting to see more and more people use this, and they were some of the first people to start doing that.
Yeah.
And super knowledgeable. Their videos are great. They're definitely know what they're talking about, and good stuff. So congratulations to Nivlek57.
Absolutely.
And then I don't know if you've been following up on the Cleetus travel across the country in the RVs, but Cleetus did sell the cheap RVs after Talladega. So the DegaBega, obviously, which was our favorite one, sold for $7,000.
We kind of had our conversation in our group chat. The DegaBega would be my choice for the drive, but to sleep in it at night, I'd rather have Jimmy and Sam's and the Allegro. I'd rather have it to stay in. But
I think everybody would agree that Ty's and Zach's was last. Like, I don't think anybody was going to choose that one.
No. And what's funny is Michael made the comment on Saturday that he wished he could buy it when it was over with, and and then when they auctioned it, I was like, oh man, too bad Michael wasn't down there. But it actually brought good money. I was, am I mistaken, or did the same guy buy all three of them?
I didn't get to see the whole thing, but I was thinking that somebody bought all three of them, but
Yeah,
I could be
I,
wrong.
I watched the auction, and I know he bought the Allegro and the little Ford, but I think he bought the DegaBega too. And what's bad is we watch and we like I get sucked in, and like probably at least 10 times a day I look at my wife and say DegaBega, and, I can't even I can't even help it. It's just so what their way of life. I've told my friends that if we woke up tomorrow and we had money to do whatever we wanted to do, I'm just so proud that he takes his friends. Like he's taken all of his friends along with him, and that's so stand up. You know,
Yeah.
I just think if we turned off Rich tomorrow, that we'd all be beating up motorhomes and cop cars and everything else that we could find, and complete automotive destruction. So
Yeah, 100%. And I like a lot of his videos.
yeah.
But I do occasionally fall behind, obviously, like everybody else,
Oh
busy
yeah.
life.
Yeah.
But when the cheap vehicle challenge, whether it be the cheap car challenge or the RV challenge, I'm telling you, those ones you got to stay up on because they are
Absolutely.
great.
Those guys, like he said, they're having the time of their life.
Yeah.
They're just
Yep, 100%. So again, DegaBega sold for $7,000. I think. What did he? Do you remember what he paid for it? Was it like 40?
he gave like 4,500, and then they I'm sure they spent some money on stuff because I know
Yeah, the generator and
they probably stayed under $5,000, but to have that experience and then actually make money on it.
right. And then so Ty and Zach sold theirs for $2,000, and
Yeah.
then Biffles, Jack Stands, and Mr. Sam sold for $2,000 as well. So at the end of the day, if he handed out 15,000, $5,000 for each
Yeah.
one, he ended up having all that fun and came out with what's that, 11,000. Like, you really can't beat that.
And if he'll go back and make shirts, don't think that they won't sell.
Oh yeah,
And then
100%.
the thing about it, I just enjoy watching Biffle because he was he raced NASCAR. He's in our eyes, he's a celebrity, but he's just having the time of his life out with them guys, and just
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's been super cool to see. Yeah, it's awesome. I guarantee you that they're already working on a DegaBega shirt.
Oh yeah,
if they don't have one already printing yet.
Absolutely.
And then one more note we had here for the WAF racing segment here. Cooper Bogetti made a post that I thought was pretty awesome. It said, racetracks in Iowa just got a big win. No more noise complaints. If the track was there before you moved in, you cannot sue them for being loud. Like, that's pretty good.
I wish Colorado got this about 2 years ago, because that's what we lost Bandamere to. And then here local to me, we've lost 2 dirt tracks to the same thing. And I just hate to see it. Growing up, my dad was a dirt racer, and 2 of the tracks that closed down they're places where I grew up. And then I was an adult before I made it to Bandamere, but I made passes there, and it was probably my favorite track of all time. And just to see that be gone and not be part of what we do anymore, I hate it. So I'm really glad that this happened for the state of Iowa, and I hope some other tracks follow suit, or other states follow suit, because the problem is we're car guys, and a lot of times we're not politically motivated, or we're not, and I'm not. I mean, I'll be honest with you guys, I hardly even watch the news. If it's not watching some of the YouTubers, Cleetus and Biffles and CJ race cars and stuff, guys, I don't even talk to anybody other than you guys for days. So I'm kind of a hermit. So like, we need to pay more attention to the stuff that's going on, because if not, we'll be next to trying to figure out where we're going to race, because things are gone.
Yeah, same thing happened here. My local track, been here. I've been going there since I was, a few weeks old. My parents were taking me there, and it just closed down last year, tore down. And There's a car wash on the property. There's a tire place and an auto zone going on the property.
Yeah. See.
Like, why?
Yeah, I'd rather have the racetrack.
Yeah.
Even if it's not a type of racing I do, I don't care if it's dirt racing or go-karts, motorcycles, four-wheelers, side-by-sides. I don't care what it is. We need to support those things and keep them, because they'll be coming after us next if we don't support those things.
Right. So in Cooper's post, he said it covers the whole place, not just the track, but the stands, the garages, everything. It's locked in, takes effect July 1st, and protects tracks for good. So
That's
again, huge win for Iowa.
Yeah.
Cooper finished his post by saying, Florida, pay attention.
Yeah,
And I think there's a lot of us that are thinking our states need to pay attention as well.
Absolutely.
All right, that was your WAF racing segment. Now we move into Performabuilt. So Performabuilt is the official transmission builder of Drag Drive Repeat. At Performabuilt Transmissions, the goal is to re-engineer and build the toughest transmissions on the planet. They don't just rebuild transmissions, they systematically re-engineer each model to eliminate OEM flaws and to achieve the highest levels of performance. That's why they say their transmissions are not just built, they are Performabuilt. So appreciate Ryan. He was on the show here a few weeks ago. So what we got here is the winners of the Woodstock and Roll Plates and 28s race at Edgewater Sports Park. They haven't posted an actual list of the winners yet, but this is what we know from the Edgewater page.
Nice.
So these are the winners. Again, I don't have a list of names yet, but definitely congratulations to everybody pictured here in these photos.
Yeah, absolutely.
So once we get that list, we'll be sure to revisit that. So that way we can give the results, the winner, kind of spreads and stuff like we do for every event. And then Carolina Drag Cruise is the next one. So we'll kind of go over the winner list of this. We don't have photos for all these. Again, if we get photos, we can definitely go back and update that. But first and foremost, want to give a shout out to Jesse Fox of 3G Video. He completed his first drag and drive as a competitor.
Good job, Jesse.
Yeah, definitely couldn't imagine trying to compete and be a photographer. Definitely curious. I'd love to hear from him on how that went. Had to be difficult because as you're up there, in line or making a pass, there's got to be a moment where you're like, man, this would be a great photo, and you're in the car, but at the same time, completing your first event is huge. So definitely like to hear from him on how that went.
And like you, going to the Drag and Drive, we went to Six Summer last year, and he was everywhere.
Yeah.
He was at the checkpoints. He was at the starting line. He was in the pits. Like you and him both, and Mike, and I'm just like, you guys are crazy.
Yep. Yeah, there's when you got a camera in your hand, there's always a photo to be taken somewhere.
Yes. Yep.
And Mike said he was the official photographer for the Carolina Drag Cruise.
Wow.
So
nice.
Well, that's even crazier. So yeah, again, congratulations to Jesse. We'll go through these. You kind of want to tag team these here?
Sure. Yeah, go ahead.
All right. So first class here was DYO with Justin Lipscomb with a .0001 difference in ETs.
That's amazing.
That's insane. That is very, very tight.
Yep. And then in True Street, Chris Rhoda with a 7.36645. So
yeah, congratulations to Chris. Modern Muscle was Eddie Larson with a 6.3224.
Nice. And then Stick Shift was Benjamin Van Mostrit. I hope I got that right because I probably just butchered that. My first one of the night. 6.62395.
Yeah, congratulations to Benjamin. Limited Street was Stephen Price with a 5.273.
And then Unlimited Street was Cameron McConchy. I guess I butchered my second one there with a 5.79155.
That's awesome. Then we've got the best average reaction time was Lyle Rust with a .0074.
And that says average. For that to be
Yeah.
your average, that guy's
Yeah.
cutting some killer lights.
Right. For sure.
And then the Spirit of Dragon Cruise, Stacy Galloway, 3-time winner.
Yeah, that's definitely third time winning, which is awesome. That's got to be super cool. Definitely would like to hear some stories on that, on what made them choose Stacy as the winner.
Yeah.
So we'll definitely have to reach out and
Absolutely. That's
hear,
kind of what I was
hear a little
thinking.
more.
Must be super involved. So
Yeah, for sure. So Mike Alone had posted on Facebook, I want to thank everyone that participated. A new record turnout for us, and we really appreciate all of you. We learned some lessons from this year to make next year even better.
Yeah.
Then he followed up with a post after that talking about some of the things that they're going to work on improving for next year. So better directions for the crews. He says, I take full responsibility for this and we'll have much better directions. Again, I'm not sure what happened there, but I love that he's making a post saying, like, this is what we're going to do next year to make it better.
That's one of the things, too. Until you do one of these and you write directions for somebody to have to follow, it's not as easy as you make it sound. You know, like I've traveled a lot, so you can give me the turn down the tree and then go left and then go 0.7 miles and turn back to your right, and I'll be fine. But, you know, different people have different ways of traveling and their ways of direction. Me and my wife were talking about this. The ways of finding directions are different. I can do landmark or follow street names. She's a landmark person. So,
Oh, yeah.
so yeah.
Yeah. So definitely interesting. He said driver and car listed in the spreadsheet. He said this was brought up and he'll make that happen for next year. New results spreadsheet. I'm going to work on making a new spreadsheet that's easier to read for both drivers and staff. So again, some definitely good stuff
And
here.
at the end of the day, every day, everybody wants to know, where am I at? What did I do? What did everybody else do?
Right.
You know, and I've been on when they did the results the way they used to do them. Like, you wouldn't know till the next morning unless the people in your class, unless you kept track of what they did, which I did, but you didn't know for sure that they got it right until the next morning. And it's like, I'd stay up all night just wondering where I was at.
Yeah.
Even if I knew.
Here we got the story of Stacy here. So this is cool.
Okay.
Stacy jackknifed his car on day 0. 8 to 10 people jumped on his car during the rain day, ripped out the fuel lines, ripped out the brake lines, and tore up the passenger rear quarter panel. So, man, that's definitely sucks to hear about jackknifing the car on day 0. But
absolutely.
And then he made it to Union on Friday night and made a clean pass and ran a perfect pass.
Awesome.
That's good.
That's dedication.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because a lot of people, they'd be so distraught they didn't even care whether they fixed it or not for days.
Right.
But that's jumping in there and getting it done. That deserves it. So
yeah. Again, congratulations to Stacy. Again, 3-time winner. And then the last couple things that he had posted, the start the cruise at Strawberry Hill. So it got multiple comments that people wanted ice cream before and after the cruise. I'll see what I can do. That is awesome. Like, could you imagine, like, on a drag and drive before you start, like, all right, get some ice cream, start cruising. The end of the cruise, more ice cream. Like, that's
Mike,
actually pretty
Mike,
good.
Are you
idea.
listening? I want ice cream.
Yeah, for sure. If there's an ice cream place nearby for the circuit, we better make that happen.
Absolutely.
Kelvin Nelson here saying thanks for the shout out. You guys are the best. No problem, man. 70,000 subscribers is a big deal.
Congratulations to you.
Yeah, for sure. And then the very last one, this one I don't know if I can get on board with. Something other than black shirts.
Mm.
He said, your voice has been heard, and next year we'll have a different shirt color. Do car guys wear a shirt color other than black?
I'm wearing a navy Rocky Mountain shirt, but it's,
I mean,
you know,
that's almost black.
I have navy, black, gray, and I think that's it.
Yeah, and then
I
a
had-
couple more blacks.
I had a white shirt one time, but I wore it one time and it had stains all over it, so I couldn't wear it anymore.
So make it to 2026 Carolina Drag Cruise. Ice cream is on me.
Oh,
Yeah.
heck yeah.
Friday evening in Galena should be some ice cream somewhere.
Sounds great. And then
Yeah.
we'll have to. I seen Camp Counselor Bob check in here earlier. Maybe we can get him to make some homemade ice cream. I'm just going to throw him right under the bus there.
Oh,
So I like homemade ice cream.
that's good. That's
Yeah.
good. Where was that?
32 car shootout, homemade ice cream. Let's do it.
I like your thinking.
I see Josh checking in here.
Black shirts, gray shorts, standard issue.
That's right.
That's
right.
awesome. Well, Stoney, we made it through the entire show. Anything else that you have that we should talk about?
I just want to apologize to anybody that I butchered your name. So sorry about that, guys.
Hot Rods, Hangout, Speed Shop, and Diner, obviously a part of the circuit. They have an ice cream machine.
They have an ice cream machine. Oh, yeah.
Michael, there is our answer. There will be
Yeah.
ice cream on the circuit.
Yes.
All right. Well, we will go ahead and wrap up the show, get everybody out a little bit earlier tonight. Richard tuning in here. Michael saying we did awesome. Thank you so much, man. I'm glad we were able to put on a show, and I'm glad that you were able to make it to Florida and be with the family for your cheer competition. So make sure you tell them to go kick ass this weekend.
That's right. And thanks for the opportunity. Just let me on. I appreciate it.
Oh, for sure. Got to have somebody on here, and you've definitely been on here. You filled in for me when I was gone before, so it only made sense. Thanks for the coverage for Carolina Drag Cruise. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Again, try to cover everything. We don't want to leave anything out. So
that's right.
You bet. All right. Well, with that, guys, again, thank you to all of you guys, our race car friends. You guys keep us motivated. You guys keep us going with your comments. I've got messages right now from different group chats of all things that need to be talked about for drag and drive stuff. So that's the stuff that keeps Mike and I going when we get tired, and it's those comments, it's those messages. So again, we appreciate all of you guys and our sponsors. Again, thank you to Summit Racing, Deechworks, Molly Motorsports, Driven Racing Oil, Howard's Cam, J-Wire Solution, WAF Racing, Performer-Built Transmission, Car Chains 3D, Power Tube TV, Sweet Patina, and Racing Junk. With that, guys, we will see you on Saturday morning.
See you guys.